Tiffany Mitchell, who'd like to start in the room. Emily, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's exactly it. I just had to try to, settle into our offense and just try to find ways where I could play my game, but still within the system that we run. So, it's just clicking each game.
Any other questions? Mike, go ahead.
I don't think we were getting stops towards the end of the game. And then we had a lot of unforced turnovers, unforced errors, just didn't get quality shots up. And, I mean, obviously it started at the beginning, but if you're asking about the latter half of the game, that's what I would say.
Yep, back left.
I don't even know what possession you're talking about, to be honest. Yeah, I don't recall.
Izar.
You want to answer?
Got it.
Okay. I mean, nobody likes to lose. We're competitors, and whoever we play every night, we want to go out there and beat them. But it's not like the end of the world for us as a team. It's a 40-game season, and we didn't think we were going to go 40-0. Not saying that we think teams are better than us, but this is a tough league to win in every single night. And so obviously it hurts because we think we're the better team and we wanted to win like we do every night, but there's a lot of things that we need to learn from. And sometimes you have to take an L to really, really go back to the drawing board and figure some things out. So we're going to learn from it. I mean, there were good things we did. There were things we need to work on, and, we'll move on. It's a good thing about this league. You play in a day and a half. So
DJ.
I think our ball screen defense, our help side defense, and then just our flow and on offense. Sometimes when we're not running a play, it takes us too long to figure out what we want to do on offense. And you see us kind of just dribbling, looking around. And then by the time we figure out, okay, where we're going to run this, it's 10, 9, 8. So I think that's a lot of things, just trying to get more fluid. And like she said, everybody just has to figure out our place in the offense and our flow. And it's still early. It's 10 games. So we'll figure it out.
Christine.
Me? Oh, you got it.
I mean, I think we've just been in positions where, it's been close games down the stretch. So just learning how to play in those moments and knowing how to execute defensively and offensively. So, I mean, I think those are positive things, just, when our back's up against the wall, how we compete and how we finish it.
Last two questions, Natalie, then Dom.
I mean, B's a good player, clearly. She's been in the league for a while. So, I mean, I don't think she makes basketball plays. I don't think she's out there, being Manu Ginobili or something, like making these amazing passes. She's hitting an open player. She has Stewie and Sabrina who she's passing to. So it's not that difficult, to make some passes. But yeah, shout out to B, I guess.
All right, Dom, last question.
Mm-hmm.
You guys have had to play 10 games and 11 games in about 25, 26 days to start the season. How have you held up physically through that? You have the depth to maybe deal with that better than other teams, but how do you guys hold up physically?
I think where we kind of have to take a hit is just not the ability to practice because we have to rest. They have to, let us stay off our feet a little bit because we don't control the game schedule. And that's the only thing we can control is how our practices look. This was the first time we've had an actual practice this week. And like a lot of teams, we've played a lot of games and been on the road and all these things. So I think that's really the biggest hit it has been, is just not being able to practice. And I think that's why it's translated to kind of the lack of continuity sometimes on offense and the lack of continuity on help side defense and different things like that, because we just need those reps. But I think the coaches are doing a good job of helping our bodies to, you know, be ready for the next game as far as recovery. But it's a give and take.
All right. Thank you, guys. Okay, we have head coach Stephanie Wright. Start with the opening statement and go to questions in the room.
Disappointed for our group. You know, I felt like the first and fourth just really hurt us. I mean, we've been talking the same stuff about our starts, and it bites you in the butt a lot, but certainly against a good team who makes you pay. You know, and then throughout the course of the game, they just took advantage of every breakdown or miscue that we had, whether it was offensively or defensively. We got a little stagnant on the offensive end in the fourth quarter, and really didn't get them in rotations, get ourselves some higher percentage looks. You know, so disappointed certainly, but an opportunity for us to go back to watch the film and to be better. Yeah, you know, when you're playing great players, you sort of got to pick your poison. And in the one that happens above the 3-point line, is that the one you're talking about? You know, we'd really like to try to take it away and make her cut back door, right? Like, you know, our goal is to force them and her specifically, but great players into tough twos and only having to guard 1 or 2 actions instead of 3 or 4 actions. And so anytime you allow them to get to where they want to go off of the first screen, it's usually followed by 2 or 3 more. And so, you know, not dictating, we were reacting once she came off. So our goal is to take it away and not let her come off of it.
Mike.
As good as things have been here, it's 1 and 8 in the last 9.
Mhm.
What makes these things?
Well, they're really good, first of all. I mean, you know, outside of the obvious that they're really good, you know, I think their length causes us some problems. You know, they've got length at most every position. And where we typically are able to use our physicality to score. When you have teams that have that extra length, it makes it a little bit tougher. They can change up how they defend. You know, guarding really, you know, 2 through 5, they can switch everything. And when you try to take advantage of the mismatches, they do a pretty good job of recovering. You know, for us, I feel like we've got to make sure to stay locked in on, yes, we can get an advantage on the mismatch, but then when we go to that, we're probably going to score on the second or third action after that, right? Like not in that first action or in that first mismatch. And they slow us down because of that. You know, our pace slows down, and you know, our ball movement, off ball movement slows down, and we get really stagnant. So that's just an area that we've got to continue as a coaching staff to be better at addressing and putting our players in positions to be successful and empowering them to make plays instead of run plays in certain situations.
Back left.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we were under any impression that we were going to go through this season undefeated. You know, certainly for us, you know, we want to win the ones we're supposed to. And when you have an opportunity to play a team that has been where you want to go, you want to take advantage of it. And we didn't do that tonight. So we just reset. We go back, we watch the film, we see the areas where we had the slippage. We address it, correct it, and come out and move on and be better against Indiana.
Emily.
Yeah, she was aggressive, you know, and that's what we want. That's when she's at her best, when she's aggressive to the rim. She's slashing, she's creating advantages. She's scoring at the rim. She does a good job of getting to the foul line as well. I wish we could have, maintain that momentum a little bit more in the second half, but she's finding her way. And I think that's the thing when you look at however many 6 new players that we have, it's finding your way with a core group that's been here for a long time. And so I think she's starting to find her way. I think she's starting to find confidence on both ends of the floor. We didn't go to our bench as much tonight. Certainly when you look at the lineup that New York has on the floor, you want to try to match it as much as possible. And they didn't go to their bench a lot either. We just were unfortunately on the losing end.
Serenity and then Alexa.
I wish I knew. Honestly, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's how we structure practice, how we structure shoot arounds, the warm up, the lineup. I'm not really sure. It's something that we talk about, we discuss, we look at, we try to evaluate, and we'll just, I guess, continue to try little bits of different things without completely trying to reinvent the wheel, until we figure it out. No, I mean, she's so strong, and physical and uses her length and so skilled. I mean, she's a post body and she's got, guard skills. And so it makes it really tough. You pick your poison. She got loose at the 3-point line a lot and catch and shoot situations. And we've got to make sure that it's more where she feels us at the 3-point line. She gets us inside, and certainly having Breezy back from a physicality standpoint helps, but her ability to maneuver once she gets it, and still finish on the interior is she's just really skilled and really tough. So she adds a different dimension to them. And when she's willing to score in the paint as much as she's willing to score, on the perimeter, it makes them that much harder to stop. Yeah, I hope they can just take a breath now that, nobody's gonna be talking about it anymore. It's like, all right, well, we lost. Not a surprise. This league is tough, right? And so now we've kind of got that out of the way. Now how do we approach the next day, right? How do we move on from this? How do we get better from this? How do we take it out on our next opponent? I'm not worried about this team. This is a veteran group. They understand the ebbs and flows of this league. We hit some adversity. Okay. So we've got to continue to be better, and we got to continue to stack days. If we had a 3 or 4 minute lull in this game, it's got to be 2 to 3 minutes in the next game. Like you don't have the opportunity against great teams to have those lulls on either side of the floor, to have those breakdowns. But we understand that we're not playing perfect basketball at this point in the season. But we've got to minimize when those things happen. Mhm. I think they have really good players, and I know it sounds simple, but it's not. I mean, you've got to guard Sabrina at the 3-point line. She's doing a much better job at finishing at the rim and attacking the rim. She never stops moving. But Nigel Laney always seems to hit a big shot, right? You got Stewie, who's the best player in the world. And you got JJ, who is a beast down low, right? And I know that Sloot's not here, who's one of the best point guards in the world, but you have to guard all 5 positions. And so when you try to force them into things that, statistically speaking, they may not be as efficient in, and they make it, you got to live with that, right? I mean, it's you got to pick your poison. Now, JJ got loose a little bit more from the 3-point line than we wanted her to. We're not shooting the ball from the 3-point line very well right now, so losing the battle there is tough. They're a really good team, and they make it tough when you have to guard all 5 of those positions, honestly, and you can't as easily commit 2 to 1.
in the playoffs or how to make them uncomfortable? Like, did you learn things from this game or will you from the film that will help you?
Yeah, I'm sure we will. Certainly this is a different lineup, a different New York lineup without Sloot on the floor. They're bigger. They did some different things on the offensive end, using their size with some of our smaller guards. They did some different things on the defensive end that took away some of our reads, that probably forced us to go a little bit deeper into our reads than we've had to do. So feeling comfortable going deeper into our reads, feeling comfortable scoring on the third side of the floor in our fifth or sixth action, as opposed to on the first side of the floor in the first or second, or the back side of the floor, in our third or fourth. That's just a natural progression. We haven't had to do it in a live game situation. We do it in practice, but we haven't had to do it in a live game situation. So now we go to the film, we watch it, we see where our options are, where our development can be, and we take that and we grow from it. Yeah, there are good things. I mean, it's nobody wants to talk about the good things when you lose, but there were some good things as well. But at the end of the day, when you're competing for championships and when you're playing great teams, it's consistency for 40 minutes. It's hustle plays for 40 minutes. It's discipline for 40 minutes. It's details for 40 minutes. It's multiple levels of effort for 40 minutes. And we didn't put together 40 minutes tonight, and they did. Thank you.